What if I told you that you can learn from one of the greatest rulers in history, who also happened to be a philosopher and a writer? His name was Marcus Aurelius, and he was the Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD. He is also known as the author of Meditations, a collection of personal notes on Stoicism, a school of philosophy that teaches how to live a virtuous and happy life. In this video, we will explore how to adopt the ruler mindset of Marcus Aurelius, which is based on 4 principles: wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. These principles can help you become a better leader, a better thinker, and a better person. Stay tuned to find out how. But before we move on, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos on Stoicism and personal growth. Wisdom is the ability to think clearly and act rationally, regardless of external circumstances or emotions. It is the foundation of the ruler mindset, as it enables you to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be, and to do what is right, not what is easy. Marcus Aurelius was a master of wisdom, as he used logic, reason, and reflection to guide his decisions and actions. He faced many challenges during his reign, such as wars, plagues, and conspiracies, but he never lost his calmness and clarity. He wrote in his Meditations, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." He also reminded himself, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." He did not let himself be swayed by rumors, prejudices, or illusions, but sought to understand the nature and causes of things. Wisdom can help you become a better ruler of your own life by helping you avoid errors, biases, and distractions, and focus on what matters most. It can help you improve your judgment, your learning, and your problem-solving skills. It can also help you cope with uncertainty, change, and stress, and find peace and happiness within yourself. Justice is the virtue of being fair, honest, and benevolent to others, regardless of their status or situation. It is the second principle of the ruler mindset, as it enables you to act with integrity, dignity, and goodwill towards everyone. Marcus Aurelius practiced justice by treating everyone with respect and kindness, even his enemies and critics. He showed compassion, generosity, and forgiveness to those who wronged him or needed his help. He wrote in his Meditations, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." He also reminded himself, "What injures the hive injures the bee." He did not let himself be corrupted by power, greed, or hatred, but sought to do good and serve the common good. Justice can help you become a better ruler of your own life by helping you cultivate good relationships, harmony, and peace with others. It can help you improve your character, your reputation, and your influence. It can also help you cope with conflict, criticism, and injustice, and find satisfaction and joy in doing the right thing. Courage is the ability to face fear, pain, and danger, and overcome them with strength and resilience. It is the third principle of the ruler mindset, as it enables you to act with confidence, determination, and optimism in the face of adversity. Marcus Aurelius practiced courage by enduring hardships, risks, and sacrifices without losing his spirit or his purpose. He faced many adversities during his reign, such as illness, death, and betrayal, but he never gave up or gave in. He wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He also reminded himself, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He did not let himself be paralyzed by fear, doubt, or regret, but used them as fuel to move forward and overcome. Courage can help you become a better ruler of your own life by helping you overcome obstacles, challenges and fears and pursue your goals and dreams. It can help you improve your self-esteem, your motivation and your resilience. It can also help you cope with failure, loss and change and find hope and happiness in spite of them. Self-control is the ability to regulate your impulses, desires and emotions and act in accordance with your values and principles. It is the fourth and final principle of the ruler mindset, as it enables you to act with discipline, consistency and excellence in all aspects of your life. Marcus Aurelius practiced self-control by mastering his passions, appetites and habits and living a simple and disciplined life. He avoided excess, indulgence and distraction and followed a strict routine of work, study and meditation. He wrote in his meditations, "The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are." He also reminded himself, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." He did not let himself be controlled by his lower instincts, but by his higher ideals. Self-control can help you become a better ruler of your own life by helping you achieve balance, moderation and excellence in all aspects of your life. It can help you improve your health, your productivity and your performance. It can also help you cope with temptation, frustration and boredom and find fulfillment and happiness in yourself. You might think that the ruler mindset is only useful for emperors, but that is not true. The ruler mindset is for anyone who wants to live a better life, regardless of their circumstances or goals. The four principles of the ruler mindset can help you improve yourself and your situation by giving you a clear vision, a strong character, and a positive attitude. How can you apply the ruler mindset to your daily life? Here are some practical tips. Journal every day. Write down your thoughts, feelings and actions and reflect on how they align with the four principles. Identify your strengths and weaknesses and plan how to improve them. Meditate every day. Practice mindfulness and awareness and calm your mind and body. Focus on your breath and observe your sensations, emotions and thoughts without judgment or attachment. Read every day. Learn from the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers, as well as other sources of knowledge and inspiration. Expand your perspective and challenge your assumptions and beliefs. Exercise every day. Take care of your physical health and strengthen your endurance and resilience. Choose an activity that suits your preferences and abilities and enjoy the benefits of movement and fitness. Apply the four principles to every situation. Whether you are facing a problem, a decision, or an opportunity, use the four principles as a guide. For example, ask yourself, what is the wise thing to do? Or, what is the right thing to do? We encourage you to try out the ruler mindset for yourself and see the positive results in your personal and professional lives. You will be amazed by how much you can achieve and improve by following the example of Marcus Aurelius. Now you know how to adopt the ruler mindset of Marcus Aurelius to help you become a better leader, a better thinker, and a better person. With all that said, please continue watching the recommendations now on your screen, or check out our other videos on the homepage. Thank you so much for watching.